Why did you look at me?
I just looked.
You knew I wasn't going. You knew I was not going over there.
Craig, I'm going to have the day I deserve. It's going to be good.
I wasn't going over there. Why are you playing with me?
I'm just going to have the day I deserve, and it will be a good day. I deserve a good day. I haven't bothered with anybody.
You be trying to incite me.
I've been very peaceful.
You be trying to incite me.
I've been very peaceful. I'm going to have the day that I deserve, and it will be a good day. Let's go ahead and talk about this. You want to play it?
Yeah.
You need the phone. Sorry.
Yes. You were trying to incite me.
No, I just looked at you because I needed to know. I'm thirsty.
Yes. Let me get to what I wanted to talk about. Before I play it, I want to say this. I really appreciate K. Michelle. I just started following her again on Instagram. I had stopped following her for a while because to me, it felt like there was always like some sort of a tussle. There was an argument somewhere with somebody about something, and I'm just very protective of my chi, of my energy, and so I've never seen Basketball Wives. I've told you guys this before. I've never seen any part of Love and Hip Hop. I used to watch Housewives of Atlanta many years ago, and
far back?
Far back.
Greg, wait.
Yeah, Nene was still on the show when I was watching.
Greg, you mean that far back, bro?
Yes. And
she hasn't been there since season 14.
And what season they on now?
20?
It's been a long time since I've seen Housewives. And I used to kind of watch a little bit of what's the one Dr. Heavenly is on? Married to Madison. And I used to watch a little bit of that. But I just don't like a lot of like you got to protect your energy, because even when you watch when you listen to certain music, some people listen to a lot of heartbreak music.
Yeah.
That shit affects your energy, right? And your overall personality. So I stopped following K. Michelle, but when I tell you I am so proud of her for so many reasons, and she started working her way back into my heart when she did that reality show, and I don't remember the name of it, but when she was talking about her surgeries. This is after she had her BBL removed, and she was going around helping other women remove things. And so she was really starting to tell her story, and she was sharing how she finally said, I realized that I was doing this, augmenting my body for men, for a man, and so I appreciated that honesty. But when I say she sat down there over the other day with Cam Newton, and she got real honest about a lot of things. And the thing that I appreciate about her is that she didn't attack him. She looked at him directly in his eyes. She was very direct with what she said. And that was a teachable moment. There are a lot of teachable moments.
Yeah.
But people aren't always ready to learn.
Well, we just had one before this segment about.
We did. And I think the thing with you and Nene was a teachable moment. I'm not here to say whether or not Nene got it or not. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, Craig. Nene thinks like 90, 98. I used to say 99.
Right.
But Nene thinks like 98% of black women.
Yeah.
And I didn't fault her for her thoughts.
Right.
I didn't crucify for her.
Right. Exactly.
Those are her thoughts. Those are things that have been passed down to her. She lives in a world that's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And once you step outside, once you get outside of the matrix and understand that the matrix is multi-coded and things like that or whatever, everything is not black and white. You yourself have taught sitting next to me, have taught me that sexuality is what?
Instinctive. It's how you're wired. It's not a choice. It's not a decision. You don't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to be gay. Oh, I'm going to be trans. Now, you do wake up and decide, I'm going to live my truth. I am trans. I am gay. So you do wake up and decide to start moving in your truth. But nobody wakes up and just decides out of the blue. That just doesn't happen. We didn't wake up and decide that we were going to be black. we're just black.
Yeah, and so people try to say you can't run sexuality or sexual orientation, sexual identity. I mean, or identity into anything with color. And I think that there's so many, intersections of that. That can be that you can show like, hey, they run parallel with each other.
Right. And I think that sexuality, gender, all that stuff, there's so many layers to it, and I think that we're still just learning and understanding. I mean, look how there's now pansexuality.
For those of us that are willing to learn.
Correct.
There are people that are like 98% of the people that are like, nah, it's just not that. And those are women, those are gay men that feel the same.
Yeah.
Because the same amount of women that were clawing at me, there were gay men that were saying the same thing.
Absolutely.
And which consistently, the more they post about it, consistently proves my point.
Right. And remember, they're a product also of patriarchy and all of that as well. So sometimes you can't escape it. They're victims of it as well.
And they proved my point, because each gay man that was on top of that hill trying to down that hill, you're not dating trans women.
Right. Right. That's right.
You're identifying as gay. You're not dating trans women. So how are you speaking for the trans attracted men?
Right.
You can't. How are you speaking for trans attracted men's identity? When the question was asked to me, she asked me, do I only know gay men? I said, I don't date gay men. Gay men don't date me. And she said, well, what are they? I said, there's something. In the middle of her doing the interview and her, slightly cutting me off here and there, whatever, I was trying to get out that there are bi, there's pan, you know what I'm saying? There's, trans attracted. There's so many different. There's queer. There's so many, things. But it was a constant. As soon as
a tug of war.
As soon as I said that that gay men don't date me, it became, well, what they is.
Right.
Because you want.
She was no longer, her ears were no longer open.
And the people that watched it turned their ear off the moment, because it's like, you a man.
Right.
So anything with you a man. So it was immediately that. And I noticed it by the way the response videos were. Like, I saw the response videos. I saw the men, even the fags that were adding me. Yeah, you're a masculine fag. You might be a masculine presenting faggot, but bitch, you're a faggot. You're not interested in no trans women.
And if you ask Dr. Heavenly, you're still a bitch ass nigga.
You a bitch ass nigga. So when you be trying to align your views up with these people, you're not proving they constantly prove my point. And I'm like, y'all do it with just doing it. You didn't allow me to say, well, maybe they might be bi, maybe they might be queer, maybe they might be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
that's why I just say queer, because I just want to be inclusive of everybody.
I do believe that the men that are trans attracted are queer, because I don't think that men that date or fuck with trans women are just specifically, straight. Whether the fact, but I know that that's their identity. They identify as a straight man. But you're not. But they didn't allow me to elaborate, because it was just the ear was turned completely off on. As soon as it's like, well, I don't, gay men don't date me. Yeah. Oh, bitch. Well, wow. Oh, yes, they is. Ain't no way no man want you and want me. That's not true.
Whitney. Yes, gay men sleep with trans men. I know that.
What?
Wait, what?
Huh?
I don't know what she's trying to say there.
Well, maybe because I don't know if she doesn't want to use the term women.
Maybe.
Sometimes they be like, well, I'm not gonna call you woman because you're trans, but you're a man.
Right.
But you have your if you're trying to say trans men, yes, gay men do sleep with trans men, but they usually sleep with them for the masculinity aspect of it. Because Scott, big dick ass Scott, my son.
Oh, she says she's talking to someone in the comments.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But I want to elaborate on this while I have you here. Big dick ass Scott identifies as a homosexual man. We were just having this conversation 5:00 this morning. Scott says to me, I love to fuck pussy. on a trans man.
Right.
He says, but I don't want to fuck a female and I don't want a transgender woman.
Yeah.
He says, I like the trans men because the trans men, the aesthetic is masked.
Right.
And so again, we can't put everything in black and white.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think there's still so many layers to this that we're still unraveling. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still going to uncover stuff 5 years from now, 10 years from then. You know what I mean? So it's just, there's just so many layers. And I think we just got to learn to let people be who they are.
Yeah.
But with the K. Michelle thing, somebody in the comments said she's a realist. And that's exactly how I feel. I think she's a realist. I feel like she spoke directly to Cam Newton. I think she spoke to him.
I think she's grown up too.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was able to come back to follow her.
She's grown up. But
I feel like she's grown up.
I started back following her because, you know, I had a little tussle
I
with
remember.
her.
That was around the time we were doing the Queen Supreme Court.
Well, and before.
I've
right, tussled with her. I've inboxed her and I've had conversations with her. I've chatted with her. I've told her that I respect her. And I've also told her her voice is country. I really enjoy
I love that girl's voice.
her singing country.
I do too.
Like I really enjoy that.
Right.
And I've had the opportunity to say, well, girl, there was a time that I felt slighted by some of the things. This is adult. We're adults.
Grown people conversations.
Bitch, I'm almost 50. I did have a problem with the things you said. I see that you have grown or whatever, you know, and I respect your craft. I told her this.
But you both accepted accountability, took accountability.
Yes, I respected your craft. I understand that, you know what I'm saying, you as a woman feel a way about, you know, men that probably whatever, and those are your things. But as people, as you being a superstar, you got to know that your trans followers may feel slighted by that. Yeah. You know, like you feeling that we're lower than whatever, you know.
Right.
And she understood it. She received it.
Because she was open.
She received it. We talked or whatever. And bitch, I told her, I said, bitch, let me tell you something. That can't raise a man.
Bitch, I still play that. That's my mother. That's her mother. Listen, she could never do a concert and not do this.
That can't raise a man.
I don't give a fuck if the entire set is country. She gonna have to do
better
that
stop.
Song. Right.
And say he's already grown, bitch. What you gonna do?
Them lyrics are serious.
He's already grown.
It's so interesting how you can quote these lines, but you couldn't quote none of Monica's.
But back to
what I was gonna.
Can I have water?
Yeah, you go do that.
Can I have water?
Yeah, you go do that.
Can I have water?
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
Water, please.
And I'm gonna wait and talk about this K. Michelle piece when you come back. So in this moment, I want to talk to you all about paid for your say. Put the link down there, please, for Fag Talk 125. Listen, this is really important. This is very important. I know many of you are already in paid for your say. If you're in paid for your say and you have made money doing paid for your say, and you would do it all over again because you've benefited from it, please put a 1 in the chat. I want to talk to the people because we almost have 11,000 people watching. I wish I had done this the other week when we had 20,000 people. The administration is really cutting a lot of jobs. You may work in government or whatever your position is. You may work in the private sector. The bottom line is you see the ones in the chat. There are a lot of people in here who are already part of Paid for Your Say. The link is scrolling at the bottom. It's paidforyoursay.com. No. Put the one. The other one is not in there? It's fine if you got that one in there. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you guys had another one?
It's fine if that one is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just leave that one. That's fine. But go to www.paidforyoursay.com and use promo code FAGTALK125. Paid for Your Say is market research. This is an extra stream of income for you to make extra money. You don't even have to leave your home. You don't even have to leave your home because a lot of these studies are done virtually through Zoom. There are mock trials. There are product testing things. So it's not a pyramid scheme. Henderson, stop speaking about something you know nothing about. This is market research. Major companies, it could be Apple, it could be Chick-fil-A, it could be Jaguar, it could be appliance companies, whatever it is. They want your opinion about their product. They're releasing a new product. They could be releasing a new service, whatever it is. And they want to have a test group, a test market, and they may select you. And so we at Pay for Your Say, Kimberly Dooley teaches you how to get selected for these groups. You do not have to live in the United States. You can live anywhere around the world. There are people who are in Dubai, Canada, the Caribbean, you name it. You could be in any state in this country as well. This money is not taxed most times. Sometimes it is taxed if you make over a certain amount with the same particular market research company. But oftentimes it is not taxed. Again, please visit paidforyoursay.com. At least just go over there and get the information. Scared money don't make no money. That's what some Harold said in the comments. Again, if you are still currently working and your job is not in jeopardy, or you may think that your job is in jeopardy, this is the time to sign up for Pay for Your Say while you still have some money coming in. You get paid. You can pay the $125 in 4 installments. There are people who are watching right now. Crystal Michelle said, I got $600 for arcade games. There will be people in here who will tell you that they're making thousands of dollars a month. We spend a lot of time as Black people talking about how we gatekeep and we don't always share the knowledge, share the information. Somebody in the comments said that it was a pyramid scheme. I'm sitting here telling you, I would not sit here and tell you that this is a way for you to make money if it was not. This is a legitimate way to make money. It is recession proof. And again, you can pay the $125 in 4 installments because there's Afterpay, there's Affirm, there's Klarna, and you can start right away. You don't even have to wait. You don't even have to wait to make the 4 payments. So again, that's all I wanted to say to you about it. Just get some information over at payforyoursay.com. And the promo code is FAGTalk125. She normally charges $225 to sign up. Right now, it's $125. All right. Madison and I were promoting Paid for Your Say when Fag Talk was born. If you remember that day when she said, we trying to have a little fag talk, I really was there just to talk about Pay for Your Say, to kind of bring you guys in, to help you guys make extra money. Because again, this administration is not playing with Black folks. It is not playing with people who are not in the upper class, in that 1%. So this is an opportunity for you to make extra money. Those of you who have college students or children who are in college and you may not want them to work, I said here the other week, I think I may have said that on my own live stream, but I said that Black children should be able to go to college without having to go to work. They should be able to focus on just their education. This is a perfect opportunity for them to make money from their college dormitory or from their apartment. When I was in college, I was fortunate. I did not have to work. I was getting child support. We have members who are making money. Yes, if you live in Europe, you can do it as well. You can be out of the country and do this. I was saying, what was I saying just now?
You were talking about child support.
Yeah. There are members who have children who are in private schools. They're paying the tuition with this Paid for Your Say. It's extra money. You get paid through Visa cards. You get paid through PayPal. Sometimes it's through Zelle. Sometimes it's through Cash App. And oftentimes you get paid right after the study is done. Typically, the studies are about 90 minutes, but they'll tell you when you get the paperwork about it, they'll send you an email. That's all I want to say about it. But just visit paidforyoursay.com, promo code FAGTalk125. I promise you, there are people that come up to, you didn't bring me no water? There are people who come up to.
Bro, this is the last one. You've drank so much of my. You've taken these every time that I've bought these. You've taken my waters.
There are people who come up to me at the meet and greets of Fag Talk and say, "Oh my God, thank you so very much for putting us on to Pay for Your Say. I've made money from it. Thank you so much for not gatekeeping. So please just try it."
Jameson, can you make a dirty martini for me? I have olives upstairs.
Oh, this water is good.
Can you make a dirty martini for your mama?
Okay. K Michelle.
Okay.
On the Cam Newton show. So again, I just want to finish saying she was so intentional. She was so poised. She looked him directly in his eyes. And I think he heard it. Now, whether or not he's going to get it, I don't know. But that was a teachable moment. And I think that she put her heart out there, and I think she spoke for a lot of Black women, not just Black women. I think she spoke for a lot of Black people, because Dineva just did an interview with Tez. She sometimes comes in on the Breakfast Club with political commentary, but she did this was on Revolt TV, and he spoke about Black men and how Black men, some, not all, some Black men are showing up in the world and not really pulling their weight in the Black community. And so I want you guys to hear what K Michelle said. Please listen closely to what she's saying.
Yes.
And again, going back to what we were saying earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
So going back to what we were saying here, if you're not a fan of K Michelle, that's fine. Listen to the message. It's not about the messenger. It's about the message. Where is our group chat? Oh, here it is.
Well, being in Atlanta all this time and then going to Nashville, where it's predominantly white, one, they go home at 5 and 6 o'clock when they're producing because they go home to their families. Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man. If you are not married, it is not respected. Family is respected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call a woman a bitch or hoe in Nashville because they'll never even listen to your music and your professional career will suffer. At what point in the Black community do our men create real homes? And even talking, just our first time talking, and you said you didn't even mean for that to happen. Life happens. I'm not here to judge life. I'm looking at a successful Black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on Black family, you know? And my grandfather, I watched my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a Black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, Black men, Black men to really step up for Black women and create families. It's really not cool. Black men are attacking Black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes, they're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful Black men, to be, you have to set an example as leads. The cute social media back and forth on Black women. Black women are strong. Black women are where you come from, this and that. So there probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening because there's so many other things around you going on that are not fair to Black women. What is going on with the Black family? We are consistently creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there. And they see their mama sad at night. At what point is the successful Black man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day. I get to witness the best of both worlds every day. Getting on stage singing R&B, being here in Atlanta, I get to sing R&B, but then I get to go to Nashville and be like, you mean you ain't staying out till 6 in the morning? You gonna go home to your family, you gonna write this song and leave at 5 and 6 because you gonna take care of your family and your wife? At what point do the successful Black men build Black families? We ain't gonna ever have a Black family if y'all don't do it. We're never gonna have it. It's just not gonna happen. So if your mentality is, yes, things happen, and I'm not knocking you for that. I didn't come here for that. But at what point do you take that Black woman? Do you be at a home and show your kids what it's like, you know? At what point do you take a grip to it, not make excuses for it or mantras and things like that? It is so unfair to Black women who have been the strength and builders of so many things. And I know life happens. You can't be with somebody you don't want to be with or whatever, but my grandparents did it. My grandfather, 92, died when he was 92, my best friend. I never seen another type of man. That's why I've turned down 3 rings, because they wasn't like my grandpa. My grandfather raised 9 kids on his own, boy, because my grandmama died before I could even meet her. What point are our black men going to stop the bullshit, the social media shit, and all of that, and build black homes? If we don't build black homes, we can't depend on white folk to build black homes. So when you see somebody like your significant other who clearly loves you, and it's all these black women rooting for her, rooting for you, they want you to build a black home. That's their anger. They don't know you. They can't judge you for anything else. They want you being who you are, being attractive, being successful. They want you to take hold and solidify and build a black home. That's not saying you're not taking care of the kids you have, because clearly you are, and you love your kids. Taking care of your kids and building a home is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
At what point are we going to stop these back and forths? Oh, this type of woman don't say nothing to me about that. Well, guess what? You're just weak. Like, you want a strong woman around you. And I'm sorry, like, black women have just, that we get copied from hair to body to everything. Black women are the most unloved individuals in America, but the ones who have built.
The most mimicked.
Most mimic. Good or bad mimic, you know? But we looking to you. We looking to you. A successful black man, we are looking to you to change the narrative. And when you don't, it becomes, go on that show and tear his ass up.
Mm-hmm. I received that. And nothing but a white flag, because I have been guilty. But if we're going to have this conversation, how we need to have this conversation, just like you're holding me accountable.
Hold me accountable.
I need black women to hold themselves.
Okay, come on, let's go.
So I really want us to take our time with this part. You
Go
can take
ahead.
it down, Mo.
This your area. I'm sitting this one out.
Okay.
Because I'm not a black woman.
Oh, neither am I. But I want us to spend some time here because I was watching the comments as they were coming through, and as she was drawing the comparison of how music works in Nashville with white artists and how they will go to the studio and they'll work on one song or whatever, and they go home by 6. Where in hip hop or R&B, they're in the music industry, they're going to the studio at 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning. They're not even home for family. And I see people in the comments saying, oh, the same white men that are on the serial killers and this, that, and the third. See, this is what happens when we miss the messages. No one's saying that white is right. No one is saying that white people are perfect. She's drawing an example. And see, this is why we can't heal. And this is why we can't grow, because we want to shift the blame and we don't want to get focused. We don't want to accept it and say, you know what? She's on to something. But we got to do better. And so the what she said was very true. When I first moved to Atlanta, the only reason I moved to Atlanta was because I was writing music. And I'm telling you, I was working a day job, and I would go to the studio 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Had to be to work the next day at 8:30. I'm exhausted trying to keep up with that. And I didn't have a family. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a wife and none of that stuff. But some of those producers did. And it's like, you're never home to see your kids come from school. You're not there for dinner with your family, with your kids. You're not there to build the family. And then the thing that I sit here and I say consistently, I just said it a moment ago about protecting my chi and the kind of music and television shows that I watch. I don't allow certain things to enter. I'm not saying that there's nothing that's garbage, that I don't watch any garbage or hear any garbage, because I do live in the world. But I make a concerted effort to pay attention to what I'm ingesting, right? She is saying to you, all we hear about in our music is side chicks. We're glorifying it. We talk about cheating. We're glorifying that. We're not talking about building anything. That messaging is very important. The stuff that we listen to in our music, the shit that we watch in our television programming. I sat here and I told you guys about that song that Michael Jackson did. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. He says, Jew me, sue me. Da, 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 da. They made him take that lyric out of there. Jew me, sue me. Because Jewish people understand that the media, television, radio, now social media, internet, has a direct impact on what you see, what you think, what you believe. Part of the reason that you have an old white woman in the elevator clutching her purse is because all she sees in the media, on the news, is that black people steal, rob, and kill. Direct impact on what she thinks. Same thing with music. And this is why I say to women all of the time, be mindful of listening to these heartbreak ass songs all of the time, because that's what you're going to usher into your life. You'll always usher in trauma. You gotta change your sphere, right? So that's what she's talking about there. When she's talking about, because I made a couple notes because I didn't want to forget shit. When she's talking about a demonstration, she says to Cam Newton, she says, if you don't do it, a successful black man, nice looking, you got the career, this, that, if you don't do it, then who's going to do it? She recognizes and understands that he is a demonstration. She recognizes and understands that there are a lot of black men that look to him, idolizing him. But if he changed his course, he would take some of those men with him. Same is true with like a Jay-Z. You think that he didn't have a lot of black men following him who wanted to be married because now he's married? I say all of the time, men are followers. I hate to say it, but men are followers. They follow the lead of others. They're looking for a leader. That's what she's speaking about there. So like when we talk on here, a lot of times we talk about Nick Cannon and we talk about Cam Newton and a lot of these black men.
And Mo always brings up Future.
Future. These men who have access to resources, but they have a gaggle of kids. But like she said, having kids and having a family, those are two different things. So just because you can take care of your children doesn't mean that you should be out here just having kids. That goes back to what I've talked about sitting here about vestiges of slavery. Black men being used on this plantation, then being sold to this plantation and having kids over there, having kids over here. Those are vestiges of slavery that we still see today. Just because you can afford the kid, because one of the things that she says in the interview, we didn't play it right here, but she goes on to say, our kids come home and don't have a father there. Because most, and I've said this before, even on my web series, Telling Our Stories, most black men, straight, gay, bisexual, whatever, most black men were raised by a single black woman. I don't give a damn if it was your mama. I don't care if it was your grandmama or your auntie. Most of us were raised by single women. So most of us don't even have a demonstration of what partnership looks like. And so then when we grow up, whether you're gay or straight, when you go into the world and you're now trying to have a relationship, you don't know how to have a relationship because you didn't have a demonstration. Your mother, your grandmother, your auntie, whoever raised you, that's all you saw was her. So you don't know how to mimic, you don't know how to have a relationship. And so it doesn't matter if these guys have all of this money and they, what's the one that makes the content that Just Hilarious used to date? What's his name? Country Wayne. Another one with a bunch of fucking kids, with a bunch of different women. Yeah, you may be able to take care of the women and take care of the mothers. He sat over on Shannon Sharp's show and talked about that. But you're not at home when those kids come from school. You're not at that table when they're having dinner. What does that say to your children? And she said, and K. Michelle said in this interview, and that mama is at home crying at the end of the night because she's doing it by herself. She's stressed out. We got to do better. And when we try to have these kinds of conversations, we can't keep shifting it. Yeah, well, what about that? You know what I mean? It's like we can't keep doing that. Like we never accomplish anything when we do that. And again, I'm the last person that's going to say, well, we need to pay attention to white folks. Don't. That's not what she was saying in this conversation at all. So if you were typing anything in that direction, you missed the message. You missed it.
Listening to respond.
You're listening to respond. Selective ignorance.
Is it ignorance or just?
Oh, it's ignorance. It's
Are
ignorance.
you sure, Chris?
It's absolutely ignorance. If it ain't ignorance, it's stupidity.
Either one of the two.
Yes, one of the two.
Okay.
You know, because again, like, and she's not at all saying, she's just saying, pay attention to what's happening over there. We have to pay attention to what they're doing. Because trust, believe, and know, they paying attention to what the fuck we doing. How do you think they appropriate? They pay attention to what the fuck we're doing. And so I commend her for sitting there. And again, I don't know if he's going to receive it. I don't know that. But he said, I'm waving a white flag. He said, I hear you. Message received. Now, whether or not he's going to
turned around and said, now
we got to make black women accountable. And again, not to say that we don't have to make black women accountable, but I just wish that in that moment, he had allowed her to just say what she had to say and just let it go. He could have said that later. That wasn't the moment.
Well, he sounded very much so like when we point out great points to Mo.
Yeah.
And he busts out and says, now, in perfect example, we got to hold the women accountable too. Instead of just receiving it.
Right.
And just, you know.
Right.
And then to find out that he motherfucking put that stud braids up in the point and fuck that bitch mouth.
He fucked that stud. But while we still here, before we move from it, I want to say this too. And I've said this here. I said it on Telling Our Stories. There's a crop of black men. And again, we're not talking about all. So, because that was another comment that I saw. Well, it's not all black. We know it's not all black men. No, I didn't say black men on crock of shit. What I'm saying is there's a crop.
Oh, a crop.
A crop.
Oh.
Like a harvest, a small crop. Yeah. There's a crop of black men. Right. There's a crop of black men.
You stretch, Mo? You stretch?
In my arm.
Oh.
There's a crop of black men who have gotten stuck, right? And black women and a crop of black men have made it through.
Okay.
Right? And have achieved some level of success. And I've said this before, and a lot of people got upset with me.
Anybody in this room?
No. It was on Telling Our Stories. And then I saw in the comments, people were upset.
Okay.
When you look at the ratio of black gay men versus black straight men, black gay men are by far more successful and more educated than black straight men. Now, when I say educated, I mean degreed. I don't mean that we're necessarily smarter. I mean degreed. And when it comes to income, black gay men typically make more than black straight men. Ratio. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about ratio. And what I have said before is black gay men and black women have figured out a way to navigate this society in a way that some black straight men have not. There are things that black straight men could learn from black women and black queer people, but they refuse to because they're too homophobic to deal with the queer men or queer people, black queer people. And they want to mansplain shit to black women. They don't think a woman can teach them or tell them anything. They think they know it all.